So now it's about 5 p.m. ish. Oh no, 20 past 5, I think. And so this is where the sun is now, and same spot. So there's no shade on the front. There's the sun. So that's the doorway. So it's shining in the doorway there. You can see on here, shining on my junk. Let me just get my glasses because I keep not putting them on if I can't see details. I'm just going to go around the other side again. I've been resisting using water. I'm trying to cut some of this grass, but so there's my thing. So there's a bit of shade in the afternoon over that side. So I could probably put the plants that side. They won't get morning shade, but they'll get a bit away from that. So just put some of these up there. I don't know. Shake the caravan a bit, but I'll show you this. I put this on, see, and this is open, but I can close it. It doesn't need to be open, so that's closed. But if I turn this little thing, the water will go out. Except I've plugged in my hose both sides to just keep it off the ground and stop the mud, you know, there's this thing called a mud what's it called? Mud wasp, because they put mud in there. They put mud in this hole. See the mud? They had it sealed up. I unsealed it to put the water, but it didn't have enough pressure to get in there, and I've got to break up this mulch. Oh, I left my tool there. I used that to cut the hose, so I could have a bigger piece. A small piece that I just left up there. It's just there to be safe, so I don't have it on the ground. And it's a UV kind of protective one. I'll show you something. Because apparently you're supposed to have X amount of potable water available and drainage, which I have water. I have enough water for one. And over here is where I made a little pathway. I made it a bit bigger today. I worked my butt off today. It was too hot. It just made me feel sick. But that's where I put the toilet water. Oops, sorry. I put the toilet water in there, and then I put the tissues in there, and then I put the wet stuff, the watery stuff, and then I put lots of mulch over the top to stop it from being disgusting. And there's no extra smells or whatever. It breaks down, it just sinks into the ground, and you know, all the natural things. That's my pile of mulch that I made. This is my old pile. I'm still using the old pile. That's some onion. I didn't put that there. Sometimes I scoop that into the hole too. But I made this pile first, but now I started putting it over there because I think I'm moving up to that end at some stage. But if I had have thought of it properly, mostly mown with a hand mower. I'll show you my hand mower. I don't think I've shown you. I'm collecting the rocks into that white thing because they're making a driveway up the other end. And that's another view. I don't usually look that way. I usually look over there. But this is just as beautiful. And I can't see much past there. So my spot is much less crowded than where the house is. But it's just so nice. It's so beautiful. But that's the other direction where I don't usually show. But what I wanted to do, I learned about how to kind of shape the environment, and that is going down the hill, which if I had have thought about it, instead of going down the hill, it should go across this away, sort of, hang on, this direction, so that it can sort of form like a slight bump, and then anything that falls into it, like water, can wet up the land, and then on the other side you can put trees on the other side, or plants, and make kind of like there's this thing that's in the internet, I forgot what it's called, something slade or something, and then you make one further down and one further down, and it moistens up the land so that plants, mostly trees, but plants can grow, and it preserves the wateriness on the land instead of getting dried out. And so yeah, when it doesn't rain as much, it can keep the water from the past. But all the grass is growing, and unfortunately it's hard to cut because it's old growth, and then the new growth has grown over the old growth, whereas before I was just cutting old growth. So here where it's nice, where I've already done, I just chip away a bit more. So that's why my path is a little bit wider now, because I've chipped away. I've moved the onions onto my new pile over there, and yeah, it's just so nice. You want me to show you the road you can see this caravan from? If I look that way, I don't know what direction this is, by the way, but if I look all the way over there, there is a road. See the road? And when you get to that road, you're facing this caravan. It's completely opposite direction, so see? You can see the caravan. Oh, you want to see where it's hired from? That's where it's hired from, Downs Caravan Hire. So if you see that, you can see that from that road there. See how it's sort of like an L? You can see a car coming. See the car? There's the L. And then it goes, you'll see where that car goes. See the car? It's going to go left a little bit. See how it turns left? The first time when he turned right, he's going that way now. Yeah, so he's gone. Can't see him now because he's behind a tree. Yeah, so see where he turned right on that little spot there? That's where you can see straight up here. And if you look past there, if you look past, that's past the caravan, you can see the caravan first, and then you can see a house. That's where I am. And there's the pumpkins. So it's quite nice. And there's another place over there. I don't know if that's a house actually, it looks like a shed thing. But there's so much around, like, you know, there's sort of people around, but they're very far. There's another one there. There's a house. And there's a farmstead thing. I don't know if that, I think there's a house there. Can't see it too well. And then there's another one there. And so, yeah. And the family's leaving. See your family. Yeah, so. Let's wait till they go past. I think that's. Yeah, so I'm just showing. I'll show you one more bit. If I don't want to get there. What's going on? Oh, the flood is blowing. So when they get past, so there they go. They're gone. I don't want to put their number plate. They just went down the hill. And so let's see. There's some over there, and there's another house there, and there's one further down the street. So that's the scenery on that side. And I've shown you all the way around actually this time. And that is the sun behind the tree. And so it gives a little bit of shade, but unfortunately at the height of summer, you can see the shade doesn't hit the caravan at all. So it does in the spring, but I presume in winter it's going to be on the other side of the caravan. So it's going to make it really difficult for summer and autumn. Anyway, so I've got to think about how I'm going to arrange plants, and if I'm going to have it permanent or standing still or whatever. I'm going to have to make sure that I put them in the right place, I guess. I'll show you my mower. I don't think I've shown you this yet. I got a hand mower, not a power one. So it's pretty cool. But you have to whippersnip hard bits because it can't do everything. So here's my little cutter. Here's my cutter. I've got it. Hang on. Swap hands. It's a bit easier with this hand. Oop. I've got too many things in my hands. So it's a yard force, and you push it, and it cuts the grass. See? And so it doesn't cut these things. Those long thin ones. See those long thin ones? It doesn't cut those. And the man at Warrego Water said they're a winter grass, and the only way you can get rid of them is pull them out. So it's either whippersnip them or pull them out. So, and so every sort of couple of days I come and do a bit more because I can't do it all. And I think it needs sharpening because it's struggling a bit. Anyway, so that's my little thing. And I'll show you, did I show you these? I got to go around here. There's my bit of paint. I've got to cut this grass around here because it's growing up around my paint and it makes it hard to paint. So I'm doing this to make sure I seal all the bits, and so it looks sealed. And there's a little dot there. Where's the dot? There. I don't know. You have to see if it's sealed. If it's sealed, I can turn it around and do the next bit. No, it needs a bit more paint. See there? It needs a little bit more. So I have to do up another layer. So it doesn't take 2 layers. I was told to do 2 layers, but it takes a bit more than 2 layers, and you have to thoroughly dry it, and it keeps making storms. So, I don't know. I have to brush off mouldy stuff and whatever. This one's getting there. It sort of needs a little bit more, but not too much. So then I can turn it around and do the other side. And I've tried to get it done as much as I can. But standing out in the sun is really hard. I did mow this bit so my car could go there, but it grew really quick because there were like 3 storms. But that was over 2 weeks. So yeah, there's lots of stuff, and I got a blister on my thumb, but now it's itchy because the skin peeled. I got a blister, but that's what happens when you're working on stuff. And so yeah, that's all. Yeah, okay. Well, have a good afternoon.